Well, cool. Yeah, we're super stoked to have you guys on here. As you guys know, both our listeners and you guys, we do a round of questions for all of our new guests. We call that our clubhouse. So we would love to ask you guys these questions and just learn a little bit more about your guys' movie past and all that kind of stuff. We've never done it with two people at once before, so I don't know to like ask you guys the same question or we go one by one. Anybody have any preference? I don't know what the best way is to go about this.
Yeah, we got time.
All right. Well, let's just ask the question and then you guys can take turns answering them. I'll go first. My favorite question when I am talking to someone who I know loves movies and loves that kind of stuff is to ask them who their desert island director or actor would be. So you get the whole filmography, both past and the future filmography of this person. Who would you guys want, what filmography would you guys want on your island?
Austin, I really want you to go first.
I'm just dying.
I have to have you go first.
I mean, this is kind of a toss-up between an actor and a director. The toss-up between is like Christopher Nolan or Leo.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Solid.
Well, it's good you're getting Inception either way, so you're fine. Everything's good.
Honestly,
at that one point.
I'd go Leo for that one. You get a wide breadth of stuff to watch.
Yeah, you get to work.
Beach.
Yeah, you get to work with Scorsese. You get to work with all these famous people. I mean, Christopher Nolan, he also has made some really good movies. So
it's true.
But I might have to land on Leo, to be honest.
That's great.
Like it.
Yeah,
I think that's solid. And honestly, like both of them both have, I think, some good future movies coming up. So I think that'd be a great choice either way. So
I'm actually kind of pissed off. I never thought of that until now. It's like, God, that's such a good answer.
That's a really good answer. How about you, Ethan?
You crushed it. Well, let's see. So Austin's going to see this one coming from a mile away. But I had to go. We were talking off right before the show about just picking things with your heart. So I had to go with my heart, and I had to pick Ryan Gosling as my desert island actor.
I love
Gotta
it.
do it.
Yeah.
Listen, I know on the surface that sounds like a terrible choice, and even I took a long drive, back home with my
long
wife
drive,
yesterday.
huh?
Exactly. So we took a long drive, and I had ran these questions by her and ran my answers by her, and I told her that Ryan Gosling was my pick, and literally she's like, "That's not good." Stop! I have to explain this.
Oh, I love that.
He's loaded. He's got two of my all-time favorite movies in La La Land and The Big Short.
Yeah.
But he's also I feel like he has a movie for everything.
I mean, we were just talking about rom-coms. You got Crazy Stupid Love you can take with you, and that's a great supporting cast there too.
Yeah, I mean, and Drive, Blue Valentine, Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
I feel like you're just checking all these boxes.
Yeah.
Remember the Titans? Come on.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly.
I did not know he was in that, but that's great. Yes.
Yeah. Austin's tricking us. He wasn't in that movie, but he knows we don't know that. So
Ben's never seen Remember the Titans. I'm just going to reference that the whole time. Yeah, that's a great choice. Blade 2049 is it's a hole in my filmography. I still have not seen that. I just feel like I need to though. That whole matchup of Deacons and everyone, I don't know. Looks great. I love both of those answers. Leo and Gosling. Can't go wrong with that. Fuzz, do you want to go into your question?
yeah, for sure. I'm going to send this one to Ethan first because the Ryan Gosling answer really surprised me. And so I'm very curious. So something I've talked about at length on our pod is how my grandfather had such a huge influence on the movies I watch and my taste in comedy and that sort of thing. So I'm always curious where other people got their influences from and sort of so who or what in your life influenced your cinematic taste the most?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, growing up, I wasn't super into movies until probably the last few years. But growing up, I pretty distinctly remember my mom would make me watch movies like Vanilla Sky and The Game and a couple of movies that Austin and I actually talked about last week on the show.
Oh, nice.
And Inception and some of these movies where she really enjoyed them and she's like, you have to go see this. Even though you're 8 years old, you're not going to understand the damn thing. You have to watch this. So like that's kind of what I grew up on. So I feel like that has a really big impact on what I watch now and like what I enjoy now about like kind of movies that, you know, you peel back the onion of like this means that and all of that. But I also watched Breaking Bad when it was like on the air. Like I
it was on AMC. Like
Oh yeah, and like that show is enough to really influence like cinematography, like stylizing choices and like what I find enjoyable. So I'd say like really those two things, which doesn't coincide with the Ryan Gosling pick in the slightest.
No, that's okay. It's all good. And you know, you're a guest here, so we'll allow you to break one of our rules of Movie Club. We don't talk about TV on Movie Club.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
I retract Breaking Bad.
No, don't retract.
We're just going to scrub that whole thing.
We're scrubbing all that audio.
Because I wanted to expand on the Breaking Bad thing, and I'm going to, because if we make the rules, we can also break them. But that was one of my favorite times. Like, I loved being able to experience Breaking Bad in the moment because, you know, now you can binge everything and everything is just... it's just one and done all the way through, and it's great, you know. But I really loved like the anticipation, kind of like we're getting with WandaVision and The Mandalorian right now. So I definitely relate to the Breaking Bad experience. I remember texting Ben all the time about it. And I mean, it's a very cinematic show, you know? So,
yeah, I was just going to say, like, they have, I mean, Ryan Johnson directed episodes. Like, they've had big names direct episodes of that show. So it's not just like TV director, so it's a very cinematic feel. I consider myself lucky enough that I was able to just like, I think seasons 1 through 4 on Netflix, so I was only live for the last season. And it tore me apart. So it's like, how'd you guys do this for like 4 years? This is insane. Like, I'm losing my mind right now. But that's a great show.
I don't think I'll ever be able to experience anything like season 5 finale of Breaking Bad when Hank is in the toilet. And then you're like, oh well, I gotta wait 9 months. Know exactly what's gonna happen. Like that just whole feeling encapsulated. I don't know with the binge culture we have now, and even going away from binge culture, I still don't think that can be ever replicated again.
Yeah, well, I remember it was like the second or third to last episode, and I was with my family. We were about to go on a cruise out of Florida, and like the hotel didn't have AMC, so I was like on some weird Russian torrent site, like trying to watch the episodes. I'm like, I can't have this spoiled for me. Like, I need to see what happens. But yeah, it's amazing when you have that feeling. It's like we have to watch this. Like, we stayed up and watched WandaVision this past week, and it was like 2 a.m. that I was texting these guys on the Slack. I was like, watch it immediately. Don't wait. Like, you need to see this episode right now.
I had to avoid Twitter for a whole day.
I don't know how you did it. No idea how you did it.
Austin, how about you, man? What was your big influence?
Great question. Let me think about this, because I would have to say like my neighbors. Growing up, they actually owned like a half like movie shop, half like video game store.
Rad.
Oh, cool.
So they would get like new stuff in, and they'd always like have one, like they'd pull one movie aside for themselves. So like they just had a wall of just like movies. Nice. And they're like, Austin, just come on over. Like, you can check one out and then bring it back. And like,
the dream.
I know, right? It was like Blockbuster, just, right there.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So I definitely did that. And like, I think like what really like the movie that kind of like triggered everything for me was kind of like Donnie Darko. It's one of my like top 5 movies ever.
Nice.
Kind of like got me into like that whole like psychological thriller type stuff, and I was just like, yep, this is it. This is what I like.
Yeah,
That's
that was
so cool.
Donnie Darko was one of the first movies for me too that like really kind of hooked me into like what a movie can be, or what it can do, or what it can say. I mean, I'm curious to go back and watch it. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I wonder what I think about it when I have all this gray in my beard. I'm not such an inquisitive young man anymore, so I wonder what my cynical old brain would think about Donnie Darko. But I loved it a whole bunch, and it definitely had a huge influence on me as well. I was gonna follow up if you had a specific movie or memory. Austin, you kind of just answered that with Donnie Darko, but Ethan, did you have a specific movie that you watched with your mom, or a specific experience that stood out to you?
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing that stands out to me the most is pretty recently. So you would know in Portland the Living Room Theater downtown. So I went to go see La La Land for the first time at the Living Room Theater, and I feel like that specific experience really kicked off in like, oh shit, like I really like movies.
Yeah.
Like, this is really, really cool. And I went to go see it again, obviously, and like really kind of sparked like my passion that I have for movies now. So I feel like that one experience, like I don't remember a whole lot of experiences in my life. Like I remember proposing to my wife, but I also remember going to see La La Land for the first time. Like that's right there.
That's rad. I'm actually like, I'm kind of jealous. I mean, that's part of the reason we started this pod is because, you know, we all love movies, the three of us, but we realized we weren't really seeing enough of them. You know, we're kind of watching the same things over and over. So, but I'm jealous of you, Ethan, because now I get the sense that you're like experiencing everything for the first time right now. And that's a pretty cool thing to be able to do. Matt, while you were away, we were just kind of chatting about some of the experiences they had in their movies, but yeah, and Ethan was talking about how, you know, he just sort of discovered movies in a way over the last few years, and I'm pretty jealous of that.
That's awesome.
Super rad.
I did want to comment on Donnie Darko. I've started with any Jake Gyllenhaal movie. I've started to pose the question: would this movie be better or worse if Jake Gyllenhaal were replaced by Maggie Gyllenhaal? And so
would they just swap parts in Donnie Darko?
She plays his role no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Literally the same thing.
I love it. I can't help but think about The Dark Knight every time you ask that. It's like picturing Jake Gyllenhaal getting dropped from the roof. Like, oh God, I love that so much. Bale and Gyllenhaal.
Oh, that's funny.
So my question is based off of an exercise that we did in one of our rounds, which is Unsung Gems. And essentially what that is everybody has a movie that they love that maybe they feel is underappreciated or that not enough people have seen, that they always feel like they have to, you know, talk people into watching. But yeah, essentially an underrated movie that they just absolutely love. And so my question would be for you guys is, what's your unsung gem?
Austin, you can go first again.
So generous.
Yeah, so I actually had to think about this one for a minute because, it came down to a toss-up between a couple. But I'm going to go with the more obscure movie, to be honest. So a movie called Wrist Cutters, A Love Story.
Oh.
I don't know. Have any of you?
I have seen that. Yeah, I have.
Yeah. It's not one that many people even like know about or even talk about. I felt like it was a very good movie. It has like a audience score of like 80-something% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was like a $1 million budget film that didn't hit $1 million. But just like the project itself, like the idea of it is this guy like breaks up with his girlfriend and just goes into a deep, dark depression, kills himself. But then when he kills himself, he's in like purgatory and like everything's just like everyone there has committed suicide and like they're just kind of like living the most like not fun lives. They're just like mediocre lives. And it's kind of like a comedy. So like the guy that kills himself ends up working at a pizza parlor in purgatory.
Nice.
Like, yeah. So he finds out that like his ex actually like kills herself and he's like, oh, I need to go find her. And then on the trip, like he meets this girl and stuff like that. So
are any like notable names in it or the director?
I'm trying to think. I've
got the IMDb here. It's got Will Arnett as top billing on it.
Oh, okay.
And so I've seen it and I definitely liked it. And I agree. It's a good hidden gem and people should see it, but it's showing Shannon Sossaman on here and she's not in the billing at all. So I'm wondering what's going on. I can't remember what she did in the movie.
I think that was the love interest.
Okay.
Yeah. And then who else? Nick Offerman has a small role in it and stuff like that. So like a lot of small like cameos of random people.
Tom Waits is in this. Yeah, I like this movie, but I don't remember it that well. This is a good pick.
Do we need a second Shannon Sossaman suicide movie?
Yeah.
Please, yes.
Just what I ordered.
Get that on our Shannon Sossaman suicide Rushmore.
Right?
I love 2 movies on there. That's awesome.
That's a good answer. Let's see. That's gonna make my answer seem a lot less cool because that's actually like a real unsung gem. So what? Yeah, when you guys first posed the question to me of an unsung gem, I wanted to say Uncut Gems because A, it rhymes, and B, I feel nobody ever gives that movie enough credit.
Yeah, I love that movie.
You know, biggest tragedy of our lifetime is not seeing Adam Sandler win any awards for
Right.
Oh man.
Gems.
Jeez, I know.
Unbelievable. But my real answer is Private Life. It's actually a Netflix original movie. Came out in 2018, and it stars Catherine Hahn and Paul Giamatti.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Is it like a fertility movie, something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah. So Catherine Hahn is undergoing like fertility therapies, and it's just about like them undergoing this and the effect that it has on their relationship and their jobs and everything like that. And you know, it's like really, it's my type of movie because I just like love those kinds of life instance type situations. But I feel like Catherine Hahn and Paul Giamatti really actually work well together. And as we know with WandaVision, like Catherine Hahn's an absolute gem.
I think she's criminally
so
underrated.
good.
Or maybe she's not. I don't know. I just think I should see her in most everything. So
it's crazy to be in a movie with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly and be the funniest part of it in my eyes. But her role of Step Brothers is like, oh my God, she cracks me up. She's the best.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. I haven't heard anybody that's like watched it or talked about it. Nobody knows about it. But I really, really enjoy that.
Yeah,
Sweet.
It looks cool, man. I'll definitely check it out.
Giamatti's always solid.
Great answers.
Paul Giamatti and Big Fat Liar, huge influence on my movie taste.
Like that. That's good. Sweet. Well, I mean, that was awesome. Thanks you guys so much for handling our questions. I just love like getting to, learn more about people and their music taste and everything. So we really appreciate that.